persistent CM, and GoFood provides such kind of similar to everyone's. It's by great honor to be invited to present our Arkema to approach the hydrogen market, especially in China. So my topic today is how to build liners for the Type 4 tanks, like Justin just mentioned before, that GoFood is developing for this kind of applications. So far, our world is changing by several megatrends. Like our topic today, hydrogen is one of the pillars for the transition of the clean mobilities. But Arkema is the chemistry industry, but we also involve like the natural resource. Later on, I will introduce how Arkema become more like in agriculture and combined with the chemical industry. So we are like Air Liquid, we are French companies. So our turnover in last year is around 11 billion, and our vision is to become a pure specialty material companies by 2025. So far, we are very close to this target yet. And for our topic today, automotive transportation is not account a lot in our market share, but for the polymer side, so we are much bigger than these proportions. I belong to the HPP BUs, we call it high performance polymers. So far we have the 4 portfolios, which I didn't list here. Is polyamide. It's quite new to join Arkema in this year, so I didn't put it here, but later on I will bring this material to China as well. And this one is kind of PVDF, which is very important for the battery market. You can see it everywhere in the battery inside the battery. And Arkema is around 60% or even higher the market share in this market. So we have a very strong know-how in this kind of materials. And this one is capacitance is the PEKK, is more like at the top of the pyramid of the material. So you can see it as well in the hydrogens, like some kind of sealants or some kind of high temperature the membrane for the fuel cells as well. And the rest is our polyamides, but we will highlight this one. Reason is PA11, which we choose for the Type 4 tank liners. And another one I want to mention is our Argosa is some kind of fine powders which produced by PA11. It can be used like the coating solution for the metal, like both for the Type 4 tanks and as well for the some colleague mentioned before, some kind of for the inner coating for the liquid ammonia or liquid methylene or even liquid nitrogen. We have some new development with these kind of materials as well. This is the map for Arkema HPP only for our BUs. So our headquarters is in Paris, and in east of Asia we have 3 R&D centers. And the R&D center in Changshu, which is close to this location, is the biggest one among these 3. And we have 2 plants in Suzhou. One is in here. It's close to this location, maybe 20 or 10 kilometers away from here. And we also have a plant close to our R&D center, which is the biggest one in Asia for Arkema. So I'd like to introduce how we combine the agriculture and the chemical industry together. So you can see this is the supply chain, more like the value chain of polyamide 11. So before the oil, the castor oil is more likely agriculture. It's as same as the oil you eat every day, but this kind of plant castor is not a food for humans and even for animals, so it will not impact our food securities like the others try to introduce to the market, which may produced by like corn or some kind of rice or something like this. We are using the plants that's not in our food chain. And the biggest benefits that we use the plant is we bring a lot of healthy benefit. There is a comparison between the P11 with the others made by the crude oils. You can see we can decrease almost 70% of the carbon emissions. I can give you a figure that we produce 1 kilogram of P11, it will generate only 2 kilograms of carbon dioxide. It's much lower compared with the others polyamide. And to the example for the hydrogen truck, if we use the hydrogen truck with the polyamide 11 liners, it will decrease almost 300 kgs carbon dioxide for each truck. So you can make a roughly calculation. If there is 1 million trucks on the market, it will save a lot of carbon dioxide emissions. So there is some general properties you can find on our data sheet or even for our competitors. It's quite easy to see. You can see a lot of temperatures like the melting temperatures, which we choose how to process these materials by the different kind of technology for the processes. So you can see the different temperatures, and also very important figure is the densities. So you can see P11 is much lighter than the others. So almost 50% or 20% lighter than others, which means you will bring the weight savings if you use P11 as the lighter materials. Another important thing is the water absorption. We cannot ignore the waters for all the polyamides. So it will impact by the waters everywhere, anytime. So the water is quite important when you to evaluate the properties and evaluate how to process it. So you should take it in account for whole process when you develop for the Type 4 tanks. So if you choose the material for the development of the hydrogen Type 4 tanks, you should combine with the material properties with the processing abilities together. The material properties is very important to secure your tank, but even you choose very good materials, if you cannot process, it will go in nothing. So we should combine it together. Later on, I will introduce how to make it combinations to choose a right material for your development. First, the key is about the barriers, or we call it permeations. It's quite interest for you need to choose the best material to contain the hydrogen in the tank, not get away of the air. So there is data for a lot of materials which you may see on the market that can be used for the Type 4 tank liners, like the EVH, like our PVF, and a lot of PAs. And another one is HTP. You may see some articles or some information from Europe. It's used for many years about the CNG tanks, the Type 4 CNG tanks for years. But you may see very less for the hydrogen because you see the permeation for HDP is quite high than polyamide. So why polyamide becomes more and more popular for the Type 4 tanks is mainly due to the permeations. So another key properties for the polyamide is for the low temperatures. For the hydrogen fuel cells, the key advantage compared with the battery is that they can work very well at the low temperatures. You may see the battery will die at -40 or even lower, but for the fuel cells, the target is for everywhere in the world. So which means like you may see some videos in Norway or in I think it's Swiss, in the north of Europe, the test temperature can go down to -60. So to see the material properties at the low temperature is very important to choose a good material. You can see this is a lot of polyamide. It's just for the neat reason. We didn't put any additive and any other metrics to improve their properties for the impact strength. So you can see PA11 is the highest among these polyamide. Another important is for the tensile strength. It is the critical properties when you want to evaluate the material is brittle fracture or is ductile fracture. Everyone wants to have a ductile fracture. How to make your material to be like perform like ductile fracture. The key is for the yield strength. The yield strength as long as possible. It means that you will get more likely ductile fracture, especially at a low temperature. You can see for the PA11, it's higher than 20%, but if you use some kind of impact modifier, the polyamide 6, it will only around 10. And in Europe, some customers already required like even down to -100. That is more critical for the PA6. Even they cannot survive at -100. So if you go deeper, the advantage of PA11 will show you. Another important phenomenon is in the tank is about the blistering. Maybe very less people talk this topic on the market, but Arkema believes that the blistering will be the key when you evaluate the material at a high pressure situations, especially when your products were impacted by the rapid decompressions, which means that the pressure were down to very low level at very fast speed. It will create some kind of blistering or the clumps. The difference between the clumps and the blistering is that blistering will occur only in the polymer, but the clumps will happen between the polymers and the tank covalent, like the covalent as we used. So today I will to talk more about the blistering. So you can see the blistering were impacted by the material itself, like the different solubilities, deviations, and the permeations. These were generate metrics for the blistering behaviors. And as well, you can see the decompression speed ratio is also important. If you go very rapid speed, it will more likely to create more risk for the blisterings. I will show you our studies with Kyushu University. I think some of you may have heard this university. More likely the top level of the hydrogen studies in the world. So this is the comparison between the PA6 and PA11. You can see PA11 can survive from 10 megapascal to the 90 megapascal. We didn't see too much blistering, like you see the blues more likely less blister, and the red ones go the more blister. So we believe that the B11 can stay much safer compared with the PA6. So the next topic is about how to process the liners. You can see on the market there are a lot of kind of technology, like injections, extrusion molding, or extrusion molding of the pipe, which you can compare with this one. But you may see some very specific technology someone are trying to introduce to the market, like the more like a pure pipelines and other new technology, like the BMW introduced a few months ago. It's more like the battery models. They combine everything into the box. So a lot of the new technology on the market, but so far I can tell you that road molding is more and more popular. That's why, because you see there's no wearing lines, but this injection and the process, the extrusion injection tool comes with wearing lines, which is always be the risk. You can see that markets, the acceptance, the ratio of the injection well is quite low. Maybe it's not acceptable for the mass productions. Another point is for the both inspections, like the extrusion molding, you cannot put the both during the polymer process. You need to assemble the, after the liner. It will bring a lot of risk for the leakage. And as well, you will see the adhesive between the liners and the bolts. It may not sustainable at the hydrogen atmosphere. And another point is that about the CapEx. The investment of the machine is the lowest among this technology. It's much lower compared with the extrusion molding, and a little bit lower than this technology. So it's another important thing. When you just start this development at the beginning stage, the cost of the machine is always like the good motion to move into to choose this kind of technology. So I would like to a conclusion about how to choose right materials. You can see we said that the tank size is always important. For example, if you want to produce a tank over maybe 400 liters, which means that the extrusion molding and the injection were not a good ways, because they cannot do such kind of big size. And if you want to have a capacity for production over 500,000 tanks per year, which means the extrusion molding will be a good ways, because they can do the liner at a very fast speed, like maybe 2 or even 1 minute per liners. So the capacities of the extrusion molding are higher. So we should combine the time size and the volume focus together to choose the good way, the right way to produce the liners. And the last page is about the cost. I think in China, everyone wants to talk about the cost. So costs cannot be ignored. But we should consider cost as a total solution, not just for the liner material itself, or it's not just for the composite. So we need to combine it together. For example, in China, we see many players do the much thicker composite designs compared with the the peers in Europe or in Japan. So we increased a lot of the price at China. And you can see for the processabilities in China, we don't have too much resource for the rotor molding and the extruder molding. So we don't have too much figures about the costly estimations in here, but in Europe and in Japan, we can compare it together to choose the right processing technology for you. So another important is about the waste and scrap. So for the rotor molding, there is no scrap. You put 10 kg in the mold, you will get aligners of 10 kg. But for the extruder moldings, you will have a lot of scraps, roughly 20% of the scrap which cannot be used. So each should be considered as the cost together. Another important thing is for the energy. Different kind of technologies will bring the different kind of the consumptions of the energy. So you should compare with that. Is heat by electricity, or is heat by steam, or is heat by whatever. So the energy is always ignored in China to compare with the different kind of technology. So the last one maybe not so important, but we should consider that at the beginning, how to recycle the liners. If the liners cannot be recycled easily, which means that you will bring more and more carbon emissions at the final stage. So you should consider everything together to calculate the cost of the tank. That's all. Thank you.